towards, and we're working through, we're all part of it really, right now, will be called a rogue state. And then all the other United Nations countries will bring the troops in to get them back under control. That's what this is all about.
And they've got all the predictive programming, movies and TV, where the UN lands to restore order because states are breaking away during an economic collapse.
Yeah. And you know, that's part of it too, because they know they can bring it on so badly with lack of cash, banks failure, devaluation of the dollar, the lack of food, whatever. Bring it all on at the same time. And there will be chaos, obviously, even amongst this society, where those who have the least stored up, the least whatever, will start rising to steal from other people. Okay. And that will be the excuse they'll bring in these troops. Yeah.
And now they're on the news going, we really have trained the troops to take over your local towns, but it can also be for Afghanistan. And the Army Times, you know, but you'll see the lying. In one newspaper, they're like, oh, it's for overseas. And then you actually read the Army Times and what they're going, no, and it's for America too. We're here learning how to take the city over. And going back 8 years ago, here is I think it's 7 years ago, a clip from 60 Minutes where they have signs that say, give peace a chance, follow the Constitution. And I've been to these drills where they're training to take on Americans. This is what's really happening. This is what's going on. Let's play a brief clip of the pain ray being used on. And by the way, I didn't see that pain ray article in Paul Joseph Watson's story. Let's make sure he posts that CBS story about that. And while they're finding that clip, I just want to put on screen and let people know something interesting happened. I've never had people search the term Alex Jones before. I've never searched my name in Google Trends. I've been told it's been in the top 10 before just on its own. But when we started plugging the name Alex Jones at 11:50, and you can go back several days, and you see that there's already giant traffic before we plugged it, searching the name Alex Jones, giant traffic searching the name Alex Jones on the graph. Do we have that 60 Minutes now? Or are we almost there? We had to cue it back up. Okay. But Alan, remember the head of the Air Force came out and said we need to use pain ray on Americans first. Mm-hmm.
Yes, they will use that on Americans first. They've had this stuff actually since the 1950s. Even small portable units that they can put in their pocket and use on you. But the big ones, of course, they've shown, even the military demo vehicles are showing up on Google, testing this stuff out on civilians. And believe me, it can work. But the other big thing to remember is, too, if you remember Tiananmen Square, and the reporters said that they brought, again, troops from the north of China that were Mongolian, who really are almost apart from the Chinese. So they always bring in foreigners who have nothing in common with the ones that go
they use southern Chinese to go into Tibet. So there's no a racial connection there in the borderlands. We do have the clip. The
reporters also said that these troops were really hyped up on some kind of drugs. Now, the troops today in the United Nations Army, all troops are into about 7 to 9 drugs, each prescribed drugs by the military, and these guys are going to bring in literally are like zombies. They're like trained zombies.
And then they're addicted and get mental problems, then they get to take their right to guns after they're out, hence the Blackwater filings in federal court where there are piles of cocaine, steroids, running around naked, shooting up families for enjoyment. They are creating the army of hell.
That's right.
Totally wicked, berserking, the equivalent of orcs or something from Lord of the Rings, the Uruk-hai or something, half man, half orc. Let's go ahead and play that clip from 60 Minutes. Here it is.
Which is being tested at Moody Air Force Base in South Georgia. Go! The targets here are people, military volunteers creating a scenario soldiers might encounter in Iraq. Angry protesters advancing on American troops who have to choose between backing down or opening fire. Off in the distance, a half-mile away, the operator of the ray gun has the crowd in his sights. Unlike the soldiers on the ground, he has no qualms about firing away because his weapon won't injure anyone. He squeezes off a blast.
Get out of here!
The first shot hits like an invisible punch.
Get out of here! We're not leaving!
The protesters regroup, and he fires again. And again. Finally, they've had enough. The ray gun drives them away with no harm done. Officially called the active denial system, it does penetrate.
Now they have these out at Tea Party, sound cannons. It's the same announcements, and they have provocateurs cause problems. So they have a pretext to attack you. This is their control grid. Now I want to play a new clip, and we have, again, this report. But notice they say it's for Afghanistan. No, it's not. And Watson has all the Army's own admissions. This is for the United States. It has the dual use of Afghanistan. But I heard troops calling on the radio this morning on 590 AM saying, yes, it's good. This is all good. The economy's collapsing. We're going to take over. So they're now even telling the troops all of this. They're now even admitting all of this to the troops themselves. While we're queuing that up, Alan, your comments on it.
Yes, and remember, too, these pain rays that acting on microwave technology have different settings on them, and they have two major settings. One is the minor settings up to a certain point. Once they key in the top settings, and I've used this in Iraq, it's up on Google, they literally fry the people. They've done it people in a bus in Iraq. It's well documented by video. You'll see these shrunken bodies. It literally shrinks the body and completely takes all the moisture out, and you're left with these 4.5 feet long ex-human beings. This is the kind of stuff they're going to use back home in America. Yeah.
And the next video clip is linked up in the article by Paul Watson. Government trains troops to run American cities. And we had that at the start. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to have it before this hour ends. But it's all up in the article. Government trains troops to run American cities. And Paul Watson has a second article on that, U.S. troops to deal with rioting Americans. But the good news is after we play this Christopher Monckton bombshell interview coming up, I'll be able to come back. It's ready now. Here is the clip. I'm going to get Alan Watt's take on it. Here it is.
Starting the day's activities off with a 5-mile run.
This is a Government 101 day, the city of Watertown in the 3rd BCT, and we felt this was a good way to kick the day off. We'll be spending the morning talking about local governance and spending the afternoon doing some tours of city facilities to include water, wastewater, hydroelectric.
This morning's run was really a part of our program, the Peace to Rock program. We've partnered with several communities, Watertown being one of them. Our 287 Infantry Battalion partners with Watertown. But it's also part of a program we're calling Government 101, where we actually learn from the city officials here in Watertown on how to provide services.
The 3rd Brigade Combat Team will use the information that they obtained today from the city and apply that over in Afghanistan to help build more of a community structure.
Really, it's learning from experts. They are the experts in civic government, providing services to the population, and we are seeking to learn from them, take some of their best practices, and we'll apply those in Afghanistan where we can in the area that we'll be stationed.
These ladies and gentlemen are headed into a situation where, in essence, they will become
okay.
local government.
Then in our article, we have all the mainstream links of them running checkpoints, DUI checkpoints, searching people, running checkpoints all over the country. But this is the first wave of, oh, the troops are here. Oh, they're jogging with the locals, forming a relationship. And the troops are first told a mission that it's for Afghanistan. Next, they're then told, no, this is for domestic operations. This is a group of newbies who are now being inducted into this. So, oh, well, we helped out to learn how the city runs. Now we're here to take your city over. Alan Watt.
Yeah, this is going on absolutely, too. And in Britain, they're using other techniques, too, including communitarianism, where they're now supposedly giving power back to the local communities. But they've already set up the Sovietized structure through common purpose organizations, which is attached to the Council on Foreign Relations or Royal Institute of International Affairs. It's a branch of them in actuality. And so they've already set up the leaders to run your local Soviet. Soviet meant ruled by councils, and this is the ideal system that the Rockefellers suggested that they bring in many, many years ago. That's what you're seeing happening too. So it's the new communitarian type of system where experts run everything. That was the whole idea of what the Soviet was supposed to be about, expert rule, and civilians do as they're told. Now, the only expert, as far as I'm concerned, about in civilian life are the civilians themselves. You know what you need. You don't need experts to tell you that you can even have it. You have the right to have water and food and all the rest of it.
Alan Watt, we're almost out of time. We're going to air this Monckton never-before-seen interview Then I'll be back with David Icke after the interview, folks. Please tell everybody about the InfowarsMoneybomb.com site and to donate, and the free video stream that's posted at Infowars and Prison Planet right now. And please send that link out to everybody you know so you can watch and listen to the show. Not just tune in via the free audio streams, because the official radio show ends in about 4 minutes. I'll have to have you back soon, Alan, because I know you're an expert on this, but we know it's declassified. The governments of the world have planned Project Bluebeam, fake alien landings to unify the planet. They are really hyping it now. They had another fake hoax again yesterday in the news, saying aliens were going to land yesterday. The Pentagon's promoting all this garbage. What's your view on that?
It's the same old story. They always said they would try something like this. They had a test run initially back in the days of, I think it was Orson Welles, who did the War of the Worlds on radio. And they used Princeton University Psychology Department with the Pentagon funding as well, and Rockefeller funding, to fool Americans thinking this was a real invasion, to see how the public would react. So this is an old idea. I think it would scare the public enough about invasions would all come together under a common purpose to fight off an alien invasion, that kind of stuff. And of course, it's a great distraction as well. We know, too, that the UFO cover has been a fantastic cover, alien cover, rather than look at what they're building here. They've been building amazing equipment and flying machines here for over 50, 60 years, and it's covered up their tactics. I call it the flying saucers, what the real jet set are traveling about in these days. That's what it is.
Well, we know. I mean, we know they've suppressed a lot of technology, and that's been proven. Alan, we've got a special never-before-seen video interviews we did with you that are very professionally done with bombshell developments, and you'll be uninterrupted tonight as part of the video and audio streaming. We're going to be airing those, so you'll be back with us via video, and I look forward to speaking to you again in the near future. And, of course, the website is cuttingthroughthematrix.com. People should certainly support you and your great research. God bless you, Alan.
It's been a pleasure, Alex.
It's always been a pleasure having you on. Again, we've got Max Keiser coming up, Gerald Celente, David Icke's the next interview live from New York, where he's going to be speaking this weekend. He is up next, just got in from England, coming up after Lord Monckton. So he'll be on with us around 4 o'clock, David Icke, after the Lord Monckton interview, giving me a chance to work on some stuff behind the scenes here. And the crew's doing a great job. We couldn't do it without them. The last numbers we got about 30 minutes ago is we've raised $150,838. So, I mean, that's wonderful, but I really want to go tally things in the next 20, 30 minutes. I hope we can hit $200,000 to be on schedule for $500,000 total by tomorrow afternoon. 27-hour live transmission, okay? So we do need your support buying the books, the videos, the T-shirts, but that's not enough. If we're going to fight the globalist head on, our audience has tripled, but revenue has gone down. Audience has tripled, revenue gone down, because the economy is going into a depression. And those of you that do have the extra capital now, help us with it before it's devalued. Get some gold, too, before it's devalued. But Midas Resources supports us, and they got great prices, 800-686-2237, or MidasResources.com. But we specifically need this war chest for this fight, and I think we're one of the best places to give. I want to thank all of you from the bottom of my heart that have been supporting us. Infowars.com, InfowarsMoneybomb.com. Continue Google searching Alex Jones. It's #3 search term. Infowars Moneybomb is #1. Great job there. That'll lead more people to the Money Bomb. But the most important thing is spread the word about this 27-hour broadcast that we are now 4 hours into. We're going to come back with Lord Christopher Monckton. Stay with us. Then David Icke, Max Keiser, Gerald Celente, Paul Craig Roberts, and so many others. Stay with us.